of fashion classics, see why the fashion world has always had a fascination for Indian fashion.
We thought we should do something outside India to tell the world what we are in the fashion industry and what best we can do.
Exotic stones.
People are bewitched by this tiny, precious substance.
Diamonds are the girl's best friends.
Body art.
The henna comes from a plant that's grown all over the tropical climate. It's like your own jewelry, your own marking.
Playing the sport.
Polo started in Persia.
And all things exotic.
Pashmina is a very fine fiber, and regular cashmere feels like cardboard in comparison.
The African and Indian fashion worlds came together to support India's finest. Many designers turned to India for their inspiration and craftsmanship.
In the last 2 or 3 decades, we have seen a new phenomenon, and that is the coming together of two very creative streams, one from the east and the other from the west.
It's a pleasure and a privilege to acknowledge and salute India and its fashion industry, one that has very strong and creative ties to our designers here in America.
The artistry and the professionalism that I get from my workers in India, my designs come to life, and I owe a lot of collections to them.
I'd always been seduced by the mystery, romance, and the beauty of India. In doing my countless weeks of research for the collection, however, I developed a whole other level of appreciation for the sophistication, complexity, and refinement of Indian culture.
Known for their exquisite embroideries and fine fabrications, India is a fashion entity all the world looks to. In a celebration show of India's independence at New York's Metropolitan Club, India's finest designers presented what they do best.
We thought we should do something outside India to tell the world what we are in the fashion industry and what best we can do.
The designers we are presenting today are the designers who have made their own name in India, and they're very creative. The way we are blending our old traditional style of printing and embroidery and gelling them within the modern fashion, and that is making our garments very distinctive.
We took the best essences of the Indian clothing and the Indian lifestyle and tried to use them and implement them into our creations.
13 designers show their version of East meets West.
I like to design clothes which are international, but yet they have an Indian soul to them. A lot of my collection, I've used hand block printing, then I've used a lot of hand-woven textiles, and I've used some high-tech fabrics as well. It's a mix of both. It's a little exotic, but yet it's fun to wear, you know.
I'm catering to a Western audience, but meanwhile I will have some India-relevant theme running through it. I have 2 collections in this show. One is called the Indigo collection, which is all vegetable dyes, silks with hand block printing, and the other one's called Shifli, which is actually to do with transparency. It means transparency, and so there's just layers of basically ivories and broken whites.
It's actually a Western collection, but it has some touches of Indian elements in them, and the collection is Japanese inspired, and they're basically divided into 2 collections. There is a hand painted collection and there is an embroidered collection.
I've done a very bright, very exuberant collection. It's basically a fusion where I'm trying to create a harmony between the East and the West. The silhouettes are all Western, but it's got a Eastern influence. It's a mix of the modern and the antique.
My clothes are sort of vintage kind of clothing. It's like kind of things you find in your closets after years, and I want them to look exactly like that. The actual inspiration is the old statues which come in the caves of India and of the old Egyptian civilization.
Mine is pure Western collection. Yin and yang, good and bad, black and white basically. I mean, it's something which is there and not there. Two extremes. If you notice the inside, it's got this print of Mahatma Gandhi. So this is a bit of Indianness which I got in.
It's mostly beads, glass, a lot of lace, chantilly, a little bit Japanese, French, Belgian. There's mostly fairyland kind of inspiration. It's basically Indian silhouettes, but more sensible with sensibilities of the West.
Every single garment I've done is basically done for the now season, for the market, in terms of price and colors and the look. So it's extremely commercial.
Polo is a sport of kings with a rich history dating back to the 5th century. Played by the Middle East aristocracy as a game of honor.
Polo started in Persia, and really the way it came about was that the winning generals would use losing enemies' heads as a ball and hit it around. And it took the English to civilize it and use a ball instead of the enemy's head. You have 4 players on each team. We'll play 6 periods of 7 minutes each with 2 umpires.
It's a quite dangerous sport. You have to be very strict in your umpiring to keep them from violating the rules and taking too many chances. The field is equivalent of 9 football fields. It's 900 feet long by 150 feet wide. There's 6 periods of play called chukkers, and they're 7 minutes each. The teams change goals after each goal is scored, so no team has an advantage with wind or field conditions.
You have the reins, you have the breastplate, which keeps the saddle from moving backwards while you're running. Holding my polo mallet, which is the cane is made out of bamboo, and it comes from Borneo. And the head is made of a very hard wood in Argentina called tipa.
I've got like grass stuck to the heels of these shoes. Divots, I have divots on my shoes.
Other than tents at the Bridgehampton Polo Club, fashion seemed to be the main attraction.
I think there are people here that are watching the polo, and there are those who are watching other things. And I don't think the fashion being here would change that either way. The die-hard fans watch the polo. The others watch the fashion, I guess.
No, I think it adds. It helps to keep polo in another way interest to come and watch it.
The fashion adds a lot to the polo, and I think it's all about ladies.
The dress code and the people, I think just the whole culture of it all goes together really well. Not just the clothes, but the people that wear the clothes.
I chose to show here today because I do a line of late day dresses that I think are very suitable for polo or luncheons and things like that.
What is polo style?
I'm not very polo fashion. I'm just wearing some Levi's and a Ralph Lauren, which has nothing to do with Polo magazine, and polo sweater.
I'm wearing Betsy Johnson. Yes. And he's wearing Fat Farm.
It's one of the dresses that I've got in East Hampton. This is store Calypso.
I had a blue shirt on. My girlfriend said, "Nah, that's too winter. You need something lighter." And I did. I went white.
What is the significance of the hat at polo matches?
It's all about hats and pretty girls and horses.
You need a hat, and you couldn't pick a better place to be than out on a polo field watching everything. It's fabulous.
The polo events, of course, is everyone wants to sort of stand out and look pretty and all that. But everyone's been wearing hats for sun protection.
What does it take to be on the winning team? It takes great players and great horses.
I believe polo and fashion go hand in hand.
The ancient art of henna, traditionally used in ceremonies in the East, has come to life in the West, with numerous celebrities painting themselves beautiful.
The first major celebrity that we did was Erykah Badu. We did an Ankh, and it had her name written in it, and it was for the cover request. That was really wonderful. Then artists such as Gwen Stefani got done, and Lawrence Fishburne. And of course, after Madonna's video, everyone knows everything about henna now. The history goes back as far as it's recorded, 5,000 years, dates back to Egypt. And basically, from Egypt, it's spread throughout Africa. It's used very much in Muslim and Hindu countries, Palestinian, and we do this for different ceremonies. We can say that it's used for most weddings of traditional peoples of the East, particularly in the Islamic and Hindu religions. It's the henna paste. And just from me looking at the henna, I could see that it has great color. It's going to be very effective, very dark stain. The wonderful thing about henna is that we can do any type of artwork, so it doesn't have to be just something from India or Africa or the Middle East.
At a recent Wilkie Rodriguez show, the mood was all about the influence of Africa.
What inspired us to call the show Out of Africa is the beautiful colors and the joyous spirit of the country of Africa.
We have the henna garden paste, which is the do-it-yourself kit that anyone can do. You don't have to be an artist. It comes with a stencil, directions, and applicator. And it's literally as easy as frosting a cake. It's a wonderful way to express yourself, maybe not so much in a religious celebration, but as we see going into the 21st century, a lot of people are really moving towards individualism. So it's a wonderful medium to be used. It's completely safe, it's painless, it's natural, and it's lots of fun.
The diamond mystique was unveiled in India more than 3,000 years ago, and since then the diamonds have evoked passion, power, and magic to everyone who comes in contact with a stone. Today, the sparkle of the South African diamond is the legend of the future.
It never ceases to amaze me how many people are bewitched by this tiny, precious substance that holds this wonderful hold on all of us.
It's like a dream to wear the tiara, like, Cartier tiara, and actually I think it's you feel like a princess.
People look at it and they get this feeling about diamonds being this extraordinary, mystical kind of thing.
In the Middle Ages, diamonds were thought to possess magnetic powers that could draw together the opposite sexes.
Underwear is something that I've wanted to design for a long time because, again, it's that thing that, it's something that can easily be very sexy, and it's something that other people don't know you have on. For example, the transparent underwear for men with a small diamond G. I mean, who sees you in your underwear except you or someone you're sleeping with?
They're kind of keepsakes, like you buy one or someone buys you one when you have a baby, or when you buy a house, or when you get a promotion, or whatever it is, your lover, your husband, your wife, your daughter, your son buys you this little tiny thing that you string around a chain, which looks rather like an engagement ring for an angel. So I decided to call them angel rings.
At Badgley Mishka, Fred Layton offered a stunning accessory.
The moonstone and diamonds is French from 1930s. And then there was a necklace of all diamond beads and briolet diamonds that had 200 carats of diamond beads.
The International De Beers Diamond Awards acknowledge unusual and exquisite diamond designs from around the world. At this event, Italy was the most awarded
actually premiered first of all in Paris, was the international premiere, and it's since been to Germany, and now it's come to Italy. It's in the middle of a world tour. And tonight is an event especially for the Italian winners and for the Italian press.
The most innovative forms came from the Italians. Their award-winning creations brought out the diamond's true passion.
Well, the ring is made of platinum, set with 60 fancy-shaped diamonds. It means tapers, triangles, carré cut, and onyx, black onyx.
L'anello che ho disegnato, l'idea viene da...
My idea came from an apple, from the skin. You know, when you peel the apple. And I set diamonds on it to make this modern shape.
Poi i diamanti e ho creato quella forma così moderna, così pulita. Il diamante è la materia prima di base per disegnare un gioiello. Forse si pensa prima al diamante e poi al contorno di metallo o la forma. Il diamante è quello che dà luce, dà importanza al gioiello.
These diamond awards allow artists in jewelry to make things that no normal jeweler would commission.
This year, our winning piece is a bracelet, and the name is Will. And we think this piece is very contemporary because it's a way of saying hello to a new century, but not only a new century, a new millennium.
The luxurious fabric Pashmina, which is sheared from the bellies of goats in Nepal and Tibet, is a must-have for lovers of exotic materials.
I was designing interiors actually, and I knew that there was a need for like new materials, new exciting things, and I thought I'd do a line of home furnishings with this Pashmina. So I started pillows and throws and blankets, and then people were saying, oh, you should do other things. So I came to the idea of doing pajamas and robes, and those are a huge hit. And then after that came the idea of doing dresses and, you know, like chemises and little skirts. I always said that Pashmina is a very fine fiber, and regular cashmere feels like cardboard in comparison. I just have several samples here of the Gabrielle Sanders Pashmina line. And this is a little travel pillow. These are the larger pillows for the home. And with that, you can also have the really big blankets. The best-selling piece, well, the plain shawl for sure. First of all, I think everybody should have a Pashmina shawl because it goes well everywhere.
Alexandra von Furstenberg, a veteran Pashmina shopper, took us on the Pashmina trail to show us where to buy and how to wear these select items. First stop, Language in Soho.
There's various different ways you can wear these. My favorite way, I love wearing them, is I take it in the center and I place it around like that. Another way, when I'm wearing a black tie or a summer dress and I need to keep warm. Quite elegant like that with a beautiful dress. Third way is just basically swing over like this, and this is the best way when you have an embroidered one because you get to see all of it in the front here. 3.5, it's naked like a like a towel. I want these.
The next stop, Calypso.
Ooh, great, look at these amazing colors. I brought a lime green one and a this dusty rose color. And I love it.
That's really nice.
I'll take all of them. Pashmina is definitely a great accessory for the fall. Get one. They're great.
Designers around the world are drawing their creative power from exotic and faraway lands. Whether it's textures, colors, or accessories, the palette of spices and incense mark the runways. From Mongolian lamb trims to kimonos, the fashion scene is full of intriguing motifs.
There is always an aspect of traveling, either historically or geographically, within the collections.
from Italy to Europe to North Africa to India to China, so that's an expression from idea. Also, Marco Polo year is this year. Just a lot embroidery, silk, different embroidery, pleating, hand knits, all this mixed.
The embroideries, I was very inspired by the museum, and I think the embroideries are also very light and little touches here and there, but they're not heavy.
Silk takes a new turn in giving shape to the silhouette.
Nelle mie collezioni c'è sempre un tocco di Oriente.
I've always had a bit of Eastern influence in my collections. I have this wonderful image in my head of what it's like in the Far East.
Che sia bellissimo come l'immagino nella mia testa.
A lot of pants that are inspired by jodhpurs and riding pants and things like that, but again a little bit more simple, a little bit more wearable, and just worn with mohair sweaters. We mixed a lot of argyles with camouflage.
Inspiration for trip with Oriental Express until Istanbul. So a lot of Orientalism.
Whether it's a cashmere tunic or a fishnet shawl, textured fabrics are taking over the runway.
A tradition hundreds of years old, and I think that throughout history people have taken sari fabrics, paisleys and things from India and made them into Western dress.
It's about Orientalism in the modern day kind of thing. It's a mixture of streetwear and exquisite kind of textures all mixed together. I've done a sort of a harem pant version of it with felt and sort of sporty materials, and I mixed them together with more expensive fabrics, and it's basically quite Eastern.
A fragrant mix of exotic spices finds its way into fashion's color palette.
I went to a lot of monastery. I used a lot of the colors from the monastery. That I saw the painting inside the monastery, and the Swami colors like burgundies and reds and oranges, and some essence of turquoise.
It's spice tones, saffron, paprika.
The accessories are important, and all the jewelry, inspired. The jewelry was a little Tuareg jewelry, leather. It was leather on metallic.
There's always been an Indian influence in it because Indian materials do offer the most incredible colors and fabrics and qualities.